Hey there, how's it going? I am finally live and I'm happy to be here. I am not sure if anybody is going to actually check this live stream out. So I have no idea if anybody is going to pop in or not. I have no idea if anybody is tuning in. If you are tuning in, if you are listening to this, then highly encourage you to say hi, pop something in the chat, tell me why you're here, tell me where you're from, let me know. I will not be paying as much attention as I should to the chat window right away because I know this is my first stream. Not many people will be here. So I will directly try and get to the points that I thought I should cover. But if you actually come in and if you have a question, please do preface the question with Q, alphabet Q, and then your question. So it makes it easier for us to kind of check out what the questions are and what the normal comments are. So if you are in the chat, please do let me know and type in Q and then your question. Having said that, let's get right in. If I see any questions coming up, if I see that I need to address something in the chat, I will. But until none of that happens, I will go right into what I thought I should talk to you about. So, excuse me. So the first thing that I wanted to address is the changing dynamics of freelancing globally. If you are in India or if you're a non-Western country, it applies as much to you as it does to anybody else who's in any other country. It doesn't matter where you're from. You could be from the United States, from the UK, from the Australia, and from wherever you are, including India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, regardless of where you're from, everything I'm going to talk about applies. Also, most of what I will talk about in this specific scenario, which is going to be on Upwork, most of these best practices, bidding hacks, bidding tips, and a few other things that I will mention are all going to apply throughout your freelancing as a business that you are going to run. Now, you need to treat freelancing as a business. If you treat it as a part time business or if you treat it as a semi income source of sorts, then might or might not work for you. What I mean to say by this, and when I say semi passive income, semi income, part time income source, side hustle, or a freelancing side thing that you're going to do, I don't mean the time allotted to it. What I mean is the intensity, effort, consistency, and what you really need to put in and bring in to make this work is what I mean by that. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about AI. Now, AI has come, and just like computers first came into our lives, and a lot of people actually said that it's just a box, it's not going to change our lives in any way. That's not true. Lives have been changed in a way that we could not imagine just because of computers. And with computers came networking, with networking came internet, and with internet came everything else that you've known for the last 20 plus years. And after that, you also have seen the emergence of AI now, and almost every second day you will hear some good news, or if you can call it good news, about some new model launching, Chat GPT launching something else, which is OpenAI, Gemini AI launching something else, Perplexity launching something else, Reddit suing Perplexity. All of this keeps going on. All of this is noise. AI is just a tool. You got to work with AI the way you work with a normal co-working mate, office co-worker. The only difference is this AI will not sleep, is relentless, gives you all the information you need at any time you need. Now, lots of businesses, because we are in the world of business, because you will be serving businesses, because you have everything to do with another business who's going to be your client on Upwork and elsewhere, you need to understand that nothing has changed with respect to what our predominant behaviors are. Now, for example, if you are a SEO specialist, if you are into digital marketing, then you'll understand this even more than person who is not from a digital marketing background. Let's say you are in digital marketing and you are an SEO specialist. Let's say you are. Now, your client will come up and say SEO is dead. What do you say then? The problem is SEO is not dead. Google is still there. Google is working. The problem is that AI generated results are shown at the very top of Google searches. But everywhere else below, you would still have Google searches. If you, I don't have the time to actually look at what's happening with respect to my Google Analytics. Maybe I have the time, I can show it to you. It's irrelevant to this topic, and it's a little off the topic. But if you were to go look at your Google Analytics, you will still find that search is still leading people to your site if you have it all set up. Likewise, for your clients, all of this traffic is still coming to your client's website. Also, where do you think AI will go in and get results from? All of the questions that you're asking that are pertinent to a little things that you ask about, where do you think all of that is coming from? AI again depends on search to get all of the results that you want. Of course, AI also goes out to forums like Quora, it gets onto Reddit, it goes everywhere else. It also finds articles or content from social media platforms, brings it all together in one place into that window where you ask the question. But search is still there, social is very much there, YouTube hasn't gone anywhere, and all of the marketing channels are still on. Likewise, the way things work now, or how you connect one platform to another, or how you connect a piece of software to another piece of software, how WordPress connects to MailChimp, how Shopify connects to, let's say, Klaviyo, and so on, those things might change. You could have something like an MCP server that comes in and kind of helps you connect. You could have agentic AI that helps you connect. You could have agentic AI that helps you do certain tasks as well. You have these things, but nothing changed much. You still need human supervision and you still need human input. Anything that AI puts out cannot really be used directly, because the moment you do that, people know that you've used AI, they're going to call it AI slop. So, having said that, these are a few things that are making a difference to how we find our projects, what clients are looking for, and what you're providing, and where that connect is, how you kind of showcase yourself, position yourself. What do you say to now get a new client? Things are different now. So this is something that I thought preface this particular live stream with, because the whole of the world of freelancing has changed globally. And if you, there might be a few cases where you might have to change a few things with respect to your positioning, with respect to the service that you provide, or with respect to the products that you might want to provide, or productized services that you might want to provide, and so on. If you have services and you have been doing freelancing for a while, then you need to probably change a few things around, change the wordings, change the positioning, change what you're providing to clients in the first place. So even on Upwork, things haven't changed that way. So I'll get right into Upwork in just a few seconds, but these are the things that I thought I should let you know. Freelancing did not die. Freelancing is not dead. Upwork as a platform is not dead. People per hour as a platform, not dead. Fiverr as a platform, yes, it's been in the news for all the wrong reasons now, but even that is not dead. Nothing is dead. What's happening really is a whole change in frameworks, in what you provide, how you provide what you provide, positioning, and where you set yourself up as a freelancer from now on. How do you position yourself as a freelancing business from now on? What is it that you say to the client that will help you get a client and a project in the process? Now, one client can be a source of multiple projects, one client can be a source of a long term project, and so on. But what you tell the client is going to be fundamentally different, and you got to sit down with a cup of coffee anytime you get the time and try and think about how to reposition your services. What do you say now if you are an SEO specialist? What do you say when there are AI tools that can create websites, and if you have been a website designer for the longest time? So we'll get into all of that and we'll talk about a lot more. So let's get right into Upwork, and I'll take you through a few bidding hacks that you can use. Some of these, even before we get in, there are a few things that you need to understand and know apart from whatever else that we just spoke about. Number one is that if you are a writer I'm going to take a few examples. Maybe your particular service might fall into this bucket of services, or might not fall into a few bucket of services. But there are a few things that you absolutely must do now to so as to maximize your chances of success on any freelancing platform, and that includes Upwork. Now, for that, you got to do what is called as niching down. Niche, Niche, and down. Why you got to niche down is because the market for a generalist is incredibly competitive. So, if you were to say that I am a digital marketer, end to end digital marketer, and I help clients with the following. I help the clients with blogging and SEO. I help the clients with social media management. I help the clients with SEO. I help clients with things like setting up their automations. I help the client with email marketing. I help the client with etc., etc., etc. Now, when a person does end to end digital marketing, like I have done for the last 20 years, and I know where I'm coming from when I talk about this, it comes from a personal experience, and you have to understand that if you have a full set of services, which most of us freelancers have, it's inbred in us. We are multi-skilled. We can do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, all of them very well. And that's a problem. It's an opportunity, but it's also a problem. And hence, what you need to do is to niche down. For example, let's say you're a designer. Even in design, you can niche down into something very, very specific. For example, you could say, I'm a designer and or an illustrator, and I help design t-shirts for drop shipping sites. Or more specifically, I help design t-shirts for what's that thing called where they help you with connecting a platform, print on demand. So I'm a designer who helps design t-shirts or provides t-shirt designs for print on design businesses. You see the niche that you got into, you are a designer, but you're not talking about all kinds of design. You're not talking about website design, you're not talking about logo design, you're not all of these are niches, by the way. You're talking about a specific niche that says that I am a designer who helps design t-shirts for all product on demand brands. This is what you do. Or let's say you're a website designer. You're moving on from, let's say, Adobe suite of products or Canva or anything else that you might be using as a designer. Let's talk about, let's say, design. A few examples out of the top of my head. If you're talking about design, website design specifically, you could niche down into WordPress, which itself is a humongous market. So you don't want to do WordPress for everybody. You want to do WordPress for churches, WordPress for temples, WordPress for content creators, WordPress for YouTubers, WordPress for health care businesses, WordPress for diagnostics clinics, diagnostic centers and clinics, WordPress for schools, WordPress for universities. You see where I'm going with this? You are in WordPress like everybody else is, but you're touching on a very specific niche. And likewise, you can also try and maybe broaden out. For example, if you were giving WordPress, if your services have everything to do with WordPress for schools, you can also probably carve out a niche in for universities as well, or for other institutions that don't really fall into the framework of universities and so on and so forth, like coaching centers, language schools, and so on. So, if you, what I'm talking about is this is something that only you can decide for yourself. You need to sit down and think about exactly what is it that I do, and how do I now reposition what I do to grab a healthy share of the market, but not the entire market, and not too niche of a market either, where I might be missing out on opportunities. So you got to find that balance, and you got to think about what niche you want to focus on. And that's extremely important even before you get onto Upwork at all. So, because if you on Upwork, if you say that I'm a virtual assistant, I'm a designer, I'm a website designer, I'm a regular graphic designer. I also do a little bit of digital marketing. If you will see on Upwork, there are millions of freelancers worldwide that do this mistake. Do not. But if you had previous skills and you did not want to let go of those skills, and today you sitting down and thinking of niching down on a particular specific skill, then Upwork gives you the ability to have more than one profile. You can have more than one profile, your regular profile, then a specialized profile, which you're going to see in just a few seconds. When you have these specific profiles, you can use those specific profiles to bid on certain projects that you still think that you can deliver on, and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity. But each profile is specific to what you are positioning yourself as and what you're providing as a service. I hope that's clear. So, to bust all the myths, myth number one: Upwork is not working. That's uh, that's wrong. It is working very much. It is beating its heart. There are several more millions of projects and millions of dollars being made as we speak and as you're watching this stream or later as a replay. Having said that, that myth is busted. Second, I may not be getting any projects because clients are not there. Clients don't exist. Clients do exist. I just got a project last week. I delivered it and it's over. So you do have clients. Now, this particular client that I'm talking to you about is also going to maybe come over and hire me for a full time in the sense on an hourly basis or on a fixed price retainer basis. We don't know that yet. The talk is still going on, but it is still on, very much alive, and I'm able to get projects without really spending too much on connects. You will see all that in my Upwork profile just in just a while. So myth number two, you don't get projects, you do get projects. Myth number three, Upwork is using AI to create new projects so that it can suck connects, which is the currency using which you will bid on new projects. Those connects are being sucked out of every freelancer's inventory because Upwork depends on that for its business. No, it doesn't. It is a healthy cash flow for Upwork, definitely. But Upwork also makes its money from a revenue share from all of the projects that you complete, all of the funding that clients do on escrow, and all of the money that comes in escrow. Upwork does have several other sources of income and not just this. Yes, it keeps trying new things. Some of them are weird, some of them just don't help, some of them are quirky, sometimes the platform doesn't work well, and so on. All of these are issues with every single platform, every single software, and whatever you might choose to do tomorrow. So these are things that are not in your control. You can't do much about it. There is no time in spending time and money and efforts and resources in trying to think about or talk about or discuss about why Upwork does a few things the way it does. But for the most part, it works great, and it could prove to be a great source of income for you regardless of your background, of who you are. Even startup founders end up getting onto Upwork and try and get some projects to keep the lights on. They get in to try and get some projects so that they can keep the lights on, make payments for their expenses, and keep that startup alive and running. There are homemakers, housewives who work from home and make good amount of money. There are people who are full-time professionals providing one of the many services that you can provide using Upwork, and they're all there. So all of the myths busted. If you have any more myths or if you heard anything else that might be a little quirky, please do comment. Please do let me know anytime during the live stream or after the live stream as well. When you're watching the replay, you can always comment and let me know whatever you think or what your unique setbacks are or what specific issues you might be following or facing while dealing with Upwork or getting clients on Upwork and so on. Having said that, let's dig right in into bidding mastery, how to bid on projects on Upwork, and how to maximize your chances on Upwork while you bid. So I'm going to shift to the screen and a screen cam. I might switch on the cam on and off just to make the screen a little better. So let's dig right in. So here I am inside Upwork, and if you're looking at it, I'm already logged into Upwork. If you haven't ever seen Upwork, this is how it's going to look like. I fear that if I go to Upwork.com, it'll just log me in directly. Um, I'm sorry, that didn't come out right. Upwork.com. It might just log me in directly. It might not show the home page. So there it goes. Anyway, so you can go take a look at upwork.com, and if you haven't set up your profile yet, you will need to do that first. You would need to sign up. You can sign up as a freelancer. You can sign up as a client. You can actually have both the accounts. If you look at the top right corner here, if you click on my profile picture, you're going to actually see a few things. And right here below, you will notice that the one with the profile picture, the smiling, the goofy smile that I have, that is the freelancer account. But what you're looking at the bottom here, where it says switch account, it goes by agency and also as a client. Now I can also switch my account, click on client, and see what the client sees. I can also click here and see what an agency sees. And what you're looking at right here, the active profile that you're looking at, is a freelancer account. Now you have options to set up an agency. After you create your profile, set everything up, establish your profile the right way, you also have the option of actually setting up your agency account as well. You can also set up a client account, as you can see here. Now, both my agency and client account will come with my logo, but my freelancer account actually comes with my face with a profile picture that I have put up over there. So these are a few technical things that I thought you should know. If you already know this, please feel free to just bear with me for a while. But this is how it goes. So this is how you are set up. If you haven't set up your Upwork account yet, and if you haven't done that yet, this is how your profile will look like. You need to take the time out and ensure that you have a completed profile, including verification if required by Upwork. I know that things have changed a while. This is a very old account that I have. Of course, I'm still active on this account, but it's a very old account, and you can see that I've made over $150,000 on Upwork. I have another account on Upwork as well where I made another $60,000. This is the main account where I made another $100,000, and my total earnings on total freelancing lifetime is about $2.4 million. So if you are watching this as replay, yes, you can ask me for proof. And unlike others, I just don't give out numbers for no reason. I do have proof for everything I have. If you want to ask, you can. You got to get on a private call with me though. But all you can see my results are here. You can see that all of it is right here. I also have a specific profile that I spoke to you about. One is a profile that's specific to email marketing, and the other is a profile that's specific to article and blog writing. This was my old profile. This is the profile that I actually made most of my earnings from. And you will notice that I have all of my earnings right here showing up separately depending on which profile I click on. So I also have an all work account. This is the generic profile. This is the email marketing specific profile, also called a specialized profile in Upwork. And then I also have article and blog writing profile right here. Now, for each of the profiles, you will see that everything changes. As in title, what I specialize in is automatically pulled in by Upwork. And then I have the entire um, thing here that talks about what I do for that specific profile. Now, this profile that goes by article and blog writing, you will notice that I don't have really that much going on because it's not something that I use actively now. But this was the profile that I actually depended on for most of my 18, 20 plus years. So I just changed it. I just edited it out. I removed most of the profile because I did not want to be found on algorithm search and Upwork's internal search and so on. Most of the focus now is on my email marketing niche. Like I told you, I also did that exercise as to deciding which specific profile should I be focusing on? What products or services should I be focusing on? If I'm providing a service, how should I position that service? So I've decided on email marketing. And when I decided on email marketing, most people actually do this again where they narrow down way too much. For example, you could say that I'm an email marketer. I'm Klaviyo certified. Klaviyo is an email service provider like MailChimp. So I'm maybe MailChimp certified, or I'm Klaviyo certified email marketing provider, and I only work with clients who are on Klaviyo, or I only work with clients who are on MailChimp. Why? When most of the email service providers are more or less the same, when most of the UX, UI, and design specific aspects of most email service providers are all the same, you could actually extend that a wee bit without narrowing your market way too down. Extend that by saying that I help. e-commerce business owners, SaaS business owners, also called as software as a service business owners, or traditional B2B businesses with email marketing. And I'm platform agnostic, which means I can use any platform that you throw my way, and I will work with that platform to help you achieve profits and revenue with email marketing as a channel, not the entire digital marketing spectrum, mind you, just email marketing. So that's how you can position yourself. This makes it really easy for you to showcase your portfolio, as you are able to see here. Every time you need to add something to the portfolio, you can just click on this little pencil icon and go ahead and add or edit your portfolio projects. You can rearrange your portfolio and so on. Your portfolio can be arranged in a way where you have a nice logo showing, or actual graphic assets that you can showcase, because all of these will show up when you post a bid. So having a profile, a portfolio, and having a portfolio on your profile and making sure that that particular portfolio is updated regularly with new clients that you might have got, with new projects that you might have worked on, with even spec projects that you might work. Spec projects are those that there is no real client, but you actually use your imagination and try and build up a particular project which is specific to the service that you're providing. When you create that, you can add that here as well. So making sure that your portfolio is on is a fundamental aspect even before you start bidding. Also, there's an option of you providing consultations to people who want your consultation, so you could create that here as well. I'm into marketing, so my consultations are all related to marketing. My consultations are related now specific to email marketing. But depending on your service, you would want to change the way how you position your consultations as well. Now, the first step is to ensure that your profile is optimized and set up right. Assuming that you have chosen one profile type here, and I'm assuming that you picked up a particular service bucket that you want to be active and be a part of, you will pick that. Then you will get into this particular part here. Remember, I am on Upwork edit page. So you can click on this pencil icon and edit your title here as well. You can edit your hourly price here as well. And you can edit your entire profile copy here as well. This entire box is where your profile description goes. And you would need to make this profile description as detailed as possible, but it shouldn't feel like you're selling anything over there. It should just feel like, here's everything you got to know about me. And this is how you go about making sure that your profile is set up. If you have any questions or problems with your profile copy, please do comment below and I can help you out. But here goes your profile overview, and this is how you set it up. There are many videos on YouTube on Upwork profile optimization. I'm not that great at profile optimization. I'm only good at bidding, and that's what I depend on to get my projects. But if there is another entire aspect of optimizing your profile and making sure that clients find you instead of you going and having to find clients, you could do that as well. And anything that you might have achieved, like 100% job success, top rated badge, all of this is provided to you by Upwork as you go along, and as you complete projects, and as you build up your profile and the number of projects that you work on, and so on and so forth. All of the feedback that you get on your profile, which I'm going to show you now, is also automatically populated. So you get all of this automatic. There is nothing that you can do by yourself. Total number of earnings, the number of jobs that you worked on, the total number of hours that you worked on, and everything else, that is this part here where it says completed jobs, and the feedback that you're seeing from each client, all of this is given by Upwork automatically. All of this sets itself up automatically. There's nothing you can change. There's nothing you can edit. So you can maybe rearrange things by clicking on this icon and talk about, let's say, display only highest rated. So you could choose that if you wanted to. So as a part of setting up your portfolio, there's also one element that I would like to emphasize on, which is going to be your Upwork profile video, which is going to be something that most clients who are checking out your profile will want to watch. And you will want to make this as quick and as short as possible. You don't want a long rambling story about who you are, what you do. You don't have to start with, hi, I am Ash and this is what I do, because that's already there on your profile overview. So what you need to do is talk about exactly how you solve your clients' problems. Yes, this particular video is going to be a little generic in the sense that maybe I'll give you an example of how I might say this. You can also go take a look at my profile right here. I'm going to leave it in the pinned comment that you can take a look at later on if you want to. So if you click on this, it's going to say something similar to, hi, I am an email service provider, platform agnostic, and I can help you set up your email campaigns, automation flows using any platform of your choice that includes Klaviyo, MailChimp, Omnisend, ActiveCampaign, and so on and more. I I also help with email deliverability. I ensure that your emails don't land in spam, and I help monitor and set things and work on the technical foundations that are required to make sure that your email lands in the customer's folder and not in the spam folder. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch, connect with me using my profile buttons here, or send out an email, or any other way Upwork allows you to get in touch with me. I look forward to work with you in the next project. Thank you. This is Ash from Fish Profits signing out. And that's how you would do your video. Notice that I did not actually mention my name unless I got to the very end of that video. And that too is unnecessary. If you want, you can cut that out. You can also cut out many other things that I might have said. Maybe you can edit this for perfection, but I would highly recommend, don't worry about perfection. Just go in there, create a 1 to 3 minute project. The shorter it is, the better it is. But the more compact it is, the more impact it's going to make. So create that video and load it onto your profile picture, onto your profile, and this is how it's going to show up. You also have another little hack. All this is before bidding even happens. Okay, so we were talking about your Upwork profile and how to optimize it the right way. So you take advantage of everything Upwork provides for you, including consultations, your portfolio. Your work history is automatically going to be populated by Upwork, and your Upwork profile video. Having done that, you also have an option to show up to clients who are looking for you likewise. Like I'm going to show you right now. If you come down to the top here and actually click on something like your expertise, in my case, it's going to be email marketing. Let's say Klaviyo email marketing. Because I'm logged in, it won't show my profile. But if you, instead of jobs, if you were to click on talent and then do a search, you will notice that most of the search results that come up will come up with this badge on, available now, available now, available now. And this is what you must understand, that if you kept that on, that particular batch option on, you will be use notice that your chances of showing up when somebody types for something that's specific to the service that you provide are going to be a lot higher. So just like you're seeing here, or when you also have your consultations open, like I showed in the previous screen, then this particular button also is going to show up that says offers consultations. So available now and offers consultations are mostly going to be a part of all of the top results that you will see for talent when people type for something specific about that talent. Let's say you go look for something like graphic designer, is going to repeat itself the same way, because Upwork's algorithm is going to emphasize on freelancers who probably have consultations open, or maybe they have things like available now open. Now, for graphic designers, I don't see that happening much, but for others, let's say front end design, what shows up, you can actually play with this yourself. You can see what's happening, what's not. You see this, these are top available now badges, but there are no guarantees as to, okay, is this guaranteed that if I switch on my available now button or the option, will it always show my profile up in the results? Can't say. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's why I said Upwork's algorithm can be a little quirky. So you need to just try and test this out. But remember, if you want to switch on this available now option, it will cost you a few connects, something like 14 connects a week or something of that sort. So I am just testing it out myself now. If you go to my profile, you will be able to see that I am actually testing it out now. I have started using things like, okay, it signed me out. Very nice. So this is how my profile will look like if I'm not logged in. And now I need to log in again to show you stuff. So let's log in. I don't know what happened. It just logged me out. Or am I already here? Okay, if I'm here. So the first thing you would have to do, I'm sorry, it's just a technical glitch. I don't know what happened, but I'm still logged in. If it asks me to log in again, I might have to. The first thing you would do after setting up your profile, after verifying your profile, after filling up every aspect of your profile, and that includes adding consultations, adding portfolio pieces, and adding all other stuff that you want to add onto your portfolio, onto your profile. You also have several other features such as getting testimonials from previous clients from outside of Upwork and making this and displaying that on your Upwork profile as well. So you have several options there. You can always dig in and find out what options you have available and make sure that your profile is updated, optimized, and complete. And when you do that, is when you start coming into this Find Work tab on the extreme left tab after you log in on your nav menu and click on Find Work. Okay, so it is asking me to sign up, which I'll probably do very quickly. And I'll say, keep me logged in and log in. So there we go. I am back in. And right here is where you will find work. Now, one of the first things you got to do is to learn how to search for clients on Upwork. So let's say you click on find work. This is the page you will probably get to. The first thing you would obviously want to do is search. Now, when you search, there are what are called as Boolean operators that that you can use inside your Upwork profile or Upwork account. So let's assume that I do email marketing, but let's think about the scenario where I do email marketing, but I do not actually work with clients who are looking for help on things like cold email, which is an entirely different world by itself. It's not the email marketing service type that I provide. What I provide is what is called a double opt-in process of people actually signing up with brands and saying, send me more emails. That's the kind of email I do. Now, this cold email is something completely something else. You can always do a quick search on what cold email is versus email marketing in general. But let's say that I don't do cold email, but I do email marketing. So both of them sound a little similar and could be an overlap. So what I might do there is use something like email marketing. Now, if you were to find your regular projects the way you do, I could just click email marketing and click on search, and all of these projects will come out. They will show up. If I wanted to go more precise, then I can actually say things like and and add another one if I wanted to. Let's say I also do social media. I told you not to, but let's say you don't listen to me and you still do two services. So you can actually say email marketing and social media, and both of those type of projects will start showing up. But if you wanted to specify and drill down on the type of project you're looking at, then you will say email marketing and not cold email. If you do that, then you will only purely see projects that only have something to do with regular email marketing and not cold email. But even then, this is not perfect. So as you see, keep seeing each project that is displayed here, you might or might not be able to drill down on the actual project. Sometimes some of these projects will still include a request for cold email, which then you can ignore. But this is how you go about doing it. And you would want to take full advantage of everything that is showing on the left side panel here. Let's say you are starting out, just starting out, then you might want to choose this entry level or intermediate level or expert level depending on your skill level on what it is that you do. You can also choose your job type, which is hourly, or fixed type, which is a fixed price project. On these projects, the project price is negotiated and arrived at before you start working on Upwork, and that is the price you will be paid minus Upwork fees. Job type, a job type of hourly is where you are paid every hour, and all of the payments that come to you are obviously minus Upwork fees and any other fees that might go away. So, having said that, you have both fixed type and hourly type. Don't overthink what you need to bid on. Just go with minimums if you would like to set minimums. Like for example, because I am experienced and I have done this for a long time now, I'll probably go with something like $40, $80, or $120, depending on what my hourly rate is and what I think my hourly rate is. But if you notice, even if you put in $120, you still have projects showing up. So you always have projects on all spectrums and all skill levels and all pricing levels. So if you'd like to be a little more competitive, maybe I'll bring it down to $60. This really depends on you. You need to sit down there and calculate exactly how much you charge if it's an hourly job, if it's an hourly project. If it's a fixed price project, then you will need to click on fixed price, and then you can also choose what range of fixed price project do you want to actually take notice of. So you can just, for example, choose a range like 500 to $1,000, and this is the only range that you will look at. You will not even look at any project that has a budget of less than $500. Again, what you see here are budgets that are set by clients, but you can still have your own prices. You can still go in there and negotiate your prices. You can still go in there and bid. And while bidding, you also have a way to actually specify how much you charge. So that's something that you would want to take advantage of. You also want to take advantage of maybe one of these, like less than five proposals, give you a lot more options for your bid to be checked out by the client. If a project has more than 5 to 10 proposals, then you're going to get lost in the number of bids that are already available, that are already stacked up against that project when the client is looking at it. But still, a good practice is to go for anything less than 5 up to 15. You still have a beautiful chance of making it to the top of your client's um, what do you say, on the top of what the client is looking for, and the proposal is going to be viewed. At least there is a chance. But if you go for anything more than 15 to 20 or 20 to 50, your chances are getting thinner and thinner. Also, you would want to ensure that you choose the client info as payment verified. Again, there is a debate going on whether you want to choose payment verified or you want to choose something like my previous clients or not verified either. But you're going to just cut down the number of listings you have when you choose payment verified. You can also work with clients who haven't verified, but that's a risk I'm not willing to take at the moment. So I'm going to choose payment verified and I'm going to leave the rest alone. I can also choose my client location here, maybe look at United States or UK or Australia or whoever I want to work with. I can even include multiple locations here. When you complete this and when you know that this is the perfect set of criteria I need, you can also save that search by clicking on Save Search. And if I come back to my search, if I come back to find work, you will see that I have a saved search here. It's called Email US Mid Tier. And if I click on this, only those criteria that I must have applied that you've seen in the previous screen are what are applied to this search. And this search is constantly updated as and when these criteria are filled up. You can always make changes to this criteria and save the search again, but just a little something that saves you tremendous amounts of time when you come down to start bidding on projects. Now let's get into the actual second hack of bidding into your of bidding and making sure that you do it well. Now, I'm not going to click into any of these new ones. I'm going to click into what I've already done so that it's quicker and you get to see all of the hacks that I'm talking about. So, all of these are submitted proposals. So, the second hack is not really a hack, but it's more to do with discipline, consistency, and making sure that you do what you're supposed to do first before you go out blaming ChatGPT, AI, Upwork as a platform, or freelancing as a business. You got to ensure that you keep bidding on a daily basis. You can decide how many you want to bid. You can decide what your budget is. You can decide on how many connects you want to spend in any given month. You can decide all that. That's on you. But you got to do it every day. If it's one bid a day, you would do one bid a day for 30 days flat. If it's three bids a day, you're doing a total of 90 bids in a month. 90 projects, three a day into 30 days. Or if you're doing five, then you're doing 150 projects a month. You're bidding on 150 projects a month. So the more you do, the better chances you have of getting your proposals, getting your projects. But a lot of people, I know this personally, and I've known people for a longest time now, that they go in with all gusto, they go in with this enthusiasm, they start bidding, they don't hear from some clients, all of their proposals just go into thin air and they just quit. You can count As a matter of fact, you can't count the number of people who quit like that. There are a lot of people who quit. No wonder a lot of people don't make it. You got to be consistent. If you really want projects, then you got to be bidding on those projects. If you think like a business owner, this makes absolutely perfect sense. No business owner, a smart one, a successful business owner, ever stops the act of sales and marketing. It's always on. Whatever might be working or not working, sales, marketing is always on. You're doing a mix of both here in case of Upwork and bidding. So, having said that, the next thing that you got to do is to find projects where there are clients who give some input to you as they write their project description. Look at this particular job detail here. Klaviyo set up an integration for boutique dog brand launch, the WAG Society, WAG. And here the client starts off saying, "Hi there, I'm Michelle, founder of the WAG Society, blah, blah, blah." She also mentioned something to do with the WordPress website. And when I actually went ahead and did a search for the WAG Society, yes, I take that kind of trouble, and this is the hack that you should know. If a client gives you enough information, then you would want to go and look for that particular brand name. Then you get to WAG Society here. This is the actual business of that client who put up a request for an email service provider. So I'm going to take a good look at this. Now there are few ways you can go about doing this. You can also record a quick 1 minute video on how you can approach this particular project. For example, I could say something very simple like, "Listen, your pop-up shows up very quickly the moment I land on the store. A better idea is to make that pop-up show after 12 seconds. That's number one. And then number two, I would tell them, I would go to their store, that is their shop. I would look at this particular product here and tell them give them a few tips on how they can improve the product listing itself, or how they can make sure that email works in their favor. For example, I would add something like, "Listen, you don't have," I wouldn't say listen, of course, but you get the point. You don't have an abandoned cart email automation flow set up for this product. You might want to do that, and you might want to replicate this particular process and automation flow for all of the products on your store. You also want to do what is called as a browse abandonment cart flow. You would want to set that up because you don't want to lose out on opportunities of people checking out your product but not being able to buy that product. So you would want to give these few tips within a minute and send out that particular short video. You can create this video in Loom, or you can use any of the other platforms or software that's available for you. Create a very short video and send out a YouTube link, and make sure that it's listed as private, and you send it out to that client right here inside your subheading, inside your proposal. I didn't do that, but what I did instead is what I wanted to show you. Look at my cover letter here, and this is something that people will charge you thousands of dollars for, and I'm giving it to you free of cost. So I have used the client name here, and you can see that clearly. The proposal itself is short, and then I have what is called as a opening statement that will make sure that the client will look at my cover letter. If they don't, it's their problem, but still. So do you remember that this particular project was about email software called Klaviyo? It also mentions WordPress. And when I went ahead and took a look at their site here, I also realized that their founder story mentions the founder's cat named Alice, or was it a dog named Alice? I'm not sure. So that's why I went in here without actually saying dog or cat. I just went ahead and said something about Alice. So I said Klaviyo and WordPress works great together. Love goes out to Alice, and also congratulations on launching WAG Society at the particular link that we just shared, we just looked at. And then I'm going to go ahead with whatever I say or I do. Very short, not getting into detail here. But if you will notice, I'm also adding a PS. It is absolutely important that you add a PS, and I'm also adding a little bit of an information there that I'm an end-to-end digital marketing veteran. So it's not just email marketing that you will get for your money. If you'd like to discuss your project, please do let me know. If you'd like to schedule a call, get on a chat. This is the final call to action, but I'm not adding any links inside except for client's own link. And then what I do is that I add two different documents here. One is called the revenue driving email framework, which also consists of my samples that they can take a look at. And I also have what is called as a DIY deliverability fix kit, which is essential for them if they want to work on their email marketing delivery. All of that related to the business that you do, the service that you provide. And I want while you bid on projects, like if I click on edit proposal, for example, again you have options. I can't edit the actual proposal, but I can change the hourly rate here. I have also added what is called as a increase in my scheduled rate. Every 3 months, increase it by 5%. I do that, and I can't make any changes to the edit, but you will have an option to add profile highlights when you start bidding on a project. If you were to actually come back to this and actually take a look at a new proposal, you will see that all of this is available. Why is this logging me out? This is disgusting. Never happened before. Anyway, I'm sorry about the glitch again. So back into Upwork, if you go find projects, you now have, let's say this is featured and I click on this is something that I can absolutely do. Here's your bid, your project, and this is where you can go ahead and try and do it. You click on apply now. If you click on apply now, you will get this particular project. Now, I don't know much about the project. I don't know much about the client itself, but I'm going to choose as a freelancer. Remember the specialized profiles we spoke about? You're going to pick email marketing. It's going to tell you how many connects is going to cost you when you go ahead and place a project proposal. I'm going to leave my defaults here, which is $50, $45. I don't want an increase. And this is where you will actually write your cover letter. This is what you do. You can also take the help of ChatGPT, but you do not copy and paste what ChatGPT gives you, or what Gemini AI gives you, or what Perplexity gives you. You got to make it unique, and you got to ensure that you know exactly what you're writing about. For example, this particular project is asking for an email marketing specialist for Mail Merge, which is a specific email marketing service provider. And they're also talking about deliverability, which also I also happen to specialize in. So when you're writing back to this client, you have to mention mail merge and email deliverability. And this is where the previous document that I was telling you about, where I was talking to you about email deliverability, DIY fix kit that I just gave away to that other client, makes tremendous sense here, because it's bang on and specific to what it is that they are talking about or what help they need. So they also mentioned Outlook, spin taxing, and deliverability techniques. Now, if you, while writing your proposal, if you mention these contextually, smartly, the way you should, and write out your regular proposal and add your documents and showcase your portfolio, I guarantee you will land clients as long as you're consistently bidding on projects. So that means this particular process that you're looking at is repetitive. It goes on every day. It happens every single day for you. That means you set out every morning, try and bid on as many projects as you set out to bid, or the framework that you have in your mind. Earlier, when connects were a little cheaper, I used to run by what is called as a 10 by 10 rule. And that rule would mean that I would place 10 projects by the time it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's it. Now, whether there's an earthquake, whether there's a holiday, whether I have to step out for the rest of the day, this 10 by 10 rule has to be followed. So if I wake up earlier, let's say 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I would still go ahead and place those projects and then leave. So every single day, without missing a single day, 10 by 10 is, that's how I actually grew to that $150,000 that you're looking at. So there was no rocket science there. The only thing that worked for me was sheer consistency. So while you follow these little tips and tricks, it's important that you're consistent while following each of these tips and tricks, making sure that you don't do stupid things like copy pasting a simple template for absolutely everything just because you're lazy. Lazy people don't make it. So if you, when you're writing, you would want to write exactly, uh, you would want to type it out. Or if you take it from a chat GPT, you can copy this entire thing, for example, right here, go to chat GPT, paste it there, and have chat GPT come up with a relevant proposal. But even if it does, you would want to use that after editing, make sure that you follow all of the principles that you just learned right now, such as finding out the client's name if you can. Now, because the client did not give his or her name, I'm going to click on view job posting, and I'm going to make sure I come here and try to see if a client name was mentioned somewhere. So if you look at any of the previous projects that the client has worked on with other freelancers, you might notice that some freelancers might address the client with a name. I don't see it yet. Okay, so I write here, it's here. Stephen was great to work with and gave clear direction. Now you have found the name. So you copy that, Stephen, come back here, write in, hi, Stephen. This is what you do. Using emojis, not using emojis, really, all these debates are useless. If you want to, you can. Nobody is stopping you from doing it. But just don't overuse emojis. Now you will come back to saying something like, I noticed your request for help using mail merge. Do you see how I'm starting? Now, you don't have to use this exact same thing, but you can be as natural and as human as you can while being relevant and ensuring that you are addressing all of the pain points that your client just expressed. That's as basic as it gets. And once you start doing this over a period of time consistently, you will get clients. And don't use links inside of Upwork. Do not send them to a Google link, Google Drive link, or Notion link, or some website, or anything of that sort. Upwork is coming down hard on these links. So what you might want to do is create a simple PDF document with some of your samples showing up there. I created some, and if you would like to take a look at it, you can. I'm not sure if I can surface them quickly enough for you, but here I am. So this is my revenue driving framework, for example. And how do I show it to you? Ouch, this is not, it doesn't show up on the live screen. So apologize. But if you'd like to take a look at it, please do comment, let me know, and I can send it over to you. The That revenue driving framework PDF actually has a full list of all of my email portfolio, my email marketing specialty services portfolio. The email deliverability DIY kit is actually a PDF document that helps people do it themselves, right? So do it yourself kind of a framework that they can get access to. So create things like these so that they are easy to attach. You can attach them right here. No need to add any links at all. And then use profile highlights to add a portfolio project like so. Pick anything from your portfolio and add them here. And these are important that you need to add the relevant ones that are relevant to the particular project that the client was talking about. I'm going to cancel out of this, but you can add it here. Then you also have the option of boosting your proposal, which I don't recommend. I actually don't boost at all. I just go with what is regular, and right here it's for 17 connects. So once you're done, you can also add certifications here if you want, or any previous Upwork job also that you might have worked on, like this one, for example, that goes by MailChimp plus Divi automation specialist required, and so on. So you can select that and go ahead and place that. As long as you're consistent, as long as you name the client by name, again, doesn't mean that if you don't use the name, you won't get the project. Sometimes there is no way to find the project, the client's name at all. Maybe it's their first project. Maybe you don't have a history. Even if there is history, if you check it out, there's no mention of the client name at all. Everybody, all the freelancers, all the previous freelancers have used client, client, client. So if that went on for a while, then you can just start with hi. It doesn't matter. What you do not start with is dear sir, dear madam, hello sir, and things of that sort. That really puts people off. Do not use that. That's not used in 2025 moving on to 2026. Please come with a name or just start with hi. Don't overcomplicate that. But the first few lines of your bid is what the client sees inside his dashboard or her dashboard. Because that's happening, you would want to use the first few lines to be as specific to the client's project as possible. If he mentions mail merge, if he mentions WordPress, if he mentions Webflow, if he mentions Adobe Premiere, if he mentions Outlook, you would want to mention that in the first few lines. That gives the client an impression that you've read through the project. You actually took time to read it, that you're not a bot, that you're not fake, that you're not a fraud, if you know what I mean. So that's what you need to look for. So you managed to look for the name here. So you put that in, you create your proposal nicely, take your time, do not force yourself through this, and keep it as short as possible. Tell the client exactly how you intend to solve that problem. Ask questions if you can, because true professionals actually ask questions. So go ahead and ask questions. Do that bit. If you wanted to ask questions, for example, after you write what you write, you can come down here and say something like questions for you, and then come down and ask question number one, question number two, question number three. Look, when you ask questions, you're really going to stand out in your proposal, because a lot of people don't ask questions. They're just desperate for that project. They will go all in and try and get that project as soon as possible. It doesn't work that way. The client is not going to care. But if you ask questions, the client knows that you care, and hence goes all out to try and answer those questions. Or he or she might even get on a call with you and get into calls with you. When they get into calls with you, it's your opportunity to show up as a true personality, as whoever you are, as a person, and then try and close. We'll talk about all of that in other live streams. We'll talk about more advanced tactics and strategies in other live streams. But these are a few bidding tricks and hacks that you should know if you are trying to make anything like Upwork work for you. So, number one, to reframe and to summarize, one, make sure that your account is set up, verified, and you have set up your Upwork profile properly without grammatical mistakes, without it showing that it's done sloppily. With AI around and with you, you don't have any excuses anymore. So set up your Upwork profile right. On your Upwork profile, you should have at least one or two profiles, one specialized profile and one regular profile. For each of the profiles, you will have a comprehensive profile overview, or also called as Upwork summary, profile summary, and you will add that in detail. Talk about all of your achievements, what you've managed to do, what you've helped other clients achieve. If you didn't have other clients, what other project did you work on? You would want to showcase all of that in your profile overview, not in your bid, or not in your proposal. So that profile overview, your profile also consists of several other things. You will figure them out as you try and complete your profile. You will also add portfolio pieces to your portfolio. If consultations are made available to your profile account, then add consultations as well. This is what shows up as offers consultations when clients look for you as talent, as a freelancer. So please ensure that you have your consultation set up, go through what consultation packages that you can provide and so on. And then you also create your proposals, your portfolio. And then after you are all set and complete, is when you would come down to find work. Then you would want to ensure that you use the panel on the left to drill down on the type of clients you want, hourly price ranges, fixed price ranges, the country that the client should be at or residing in. And then you would make use of all of the criteria to find the relevant projects. Even before all of this, please be sure to niche down. Talk about your niche. Let me know what niches you follow, what niches you are onto, what niches you have chosen. After you watch this live or after you watch the replay, let me know what niches that you've zeroed down on, and what niches that you want to now work with while you're on Upwork and pasting projects or bidding on projects for Upwork. This is just the first live stream. I'm happy to have been able to do that live stream with you guys. If you like what you see, please do subscribe to the channel. There are going to be regular videos as well on freelancing, on several other topics that I think are relevant to our community at Trooper Tribe. I am happy that I could do this with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. This is Ash from Fetch Profits. I'm ending the live stream here, and I see that nobody has ever left a comment because it's my first live stream, so not an issue. I'll take leave. I very very best wishes for your Upwork journey or for your freelancing journey. If you're also trying other network platforms, other platforms such as Upwork, or People Per Hour and Fiverr and so on. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. This is Ash from Trooper Tribe. Thank you so much for checking in and tuning in today.